So I think I have enough anecdotal data now to share what I think is the secret to solving everyone's procrastination issues. I'm talking everybody. I just got off a Zoom session with another client, and I've been floating this theory out for a while. I feel fairly confident about this, but I cannot tell you the research says. I am talking pure anecdotal evidence. This is the psychology according to me, a licensed marriage and family therapist. But here's my theory. So with procrastination, I don't know if you identify with this, but how many times do you go right up to a deadline and then you get so much stuff done? I remember one time when I was getting ready to leave on an international trip to Japan, and a car was coming to pick me up, and I have never been more productive than that hour before I was about to drop everything and leave the country. And you cannot create that kind of an environment on a day-to-day basis. Yesterday, I'm waiting for a client to come on another Zoom therapy meeting, and they said, I'll be on any minute. And I edited an entire podcast. I think I wrote in my journal. I answered emails all within about a 12-minute span, because when you have this just hard deadline, or all of a sudden somebody's going to come in and do something different, guess what happens? You are providing your own supply of dopamine, this hyper-focused chemical, the stuff that is what legends are made of. It's what Adderall and Ritalin and methylphenidate and Vyvanse and all of those are helping you produce more dopamine, this hyper-fixated chemical. So when you get right down to the line, you're basically creating your own supply of dopamine. So your brain actually says, I'm going to wait till the last minute. So when you try to sit down on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if your brain knows that deadline is Friday at 5 p.m., you kind of already have an idea that I think I will be starting at noon on Friday. And that's being generous. It might be 2 o'clock on a Friday. But if you sit down on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, and you sit in front of your computer and you're saying, I'm going to start this thing early. But what happens when you try to start things early? You do what we call in the old therapy world experiential avoidance. I will find anything else that even resembles productivity, or maybe it doesn't. I'll watch dog fail videos on YouTube. I'll scroll through TikTok. I might even do things that are somewhat productive. I might answer a couple of emails, because as soon as I get those done, then I'm going to work on this research project, or I'm going to start writing the paper. But then you don't. You Tuesday night, you finish, you kind of feel a little bit crummy, and you say, tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow. The siren song of tomorrow, that feels better. I go to bed, I get going on my routine. I sit down Wednesday night now, and it's like, tonight I'm going to get serious. But first, I'm going to check a couple of NBA scores, because the season started again. And so you do. And then, well, I've never seen Steph Curry dunk, so I'm going to watch that highlight as well. And then there's an email or two, or a text comes through, and it's somebody's having a crisis. I need to be a good friend. And Wednesday night passes by. So, but man, I feel a little bit worse. I was going to work on this project on Tuesday or Wednesday. So, but tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Thursday rolls around, and you see where I'm going. The same thing happens. Friday hits. It's about noon or 1 o'clock or whenever. And all of a sudden that deadline's looming at 5 o'clock, and your brain just says, we got to do this. And you sit down and you do it. And it might not be your best work, but you don't care, because at that point it's flowing, a little bit of creativity. And what do you get to say? I turned it in, and I work best under pressure. That old story. So here's my theory. I don't know if we call this a procrastination hack, except the fact that I am not going to get started until Friday at noon or 1 or 2 o'clock or whenever it is. So then what do you do on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday? You do things that matter. You do a little self-care. You raise what I call your emotional baseline. So when you leave Tuesday night and you've gone rock climbing, you've interacted with friends, you've cleaned your apartment, all of a sudden you feel like this was a good day. And you don't even kid yourself about, so tomorrow I'm going to work on that paper. No, because you're not going to. Wednesday, you do more. You throw yourself into the service of others, and you go to your classes, you go to your job, you're very present, you're greeting everybody that walks in, because you feel good. And then Thursday hits, you do the same thing. Friday comes, and it's go time, and you cannot now wait. And guess what? And this is the data that I am starting to bring in from client after client, that you actually do start to work on things. It might even be at noon. It might even be at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. on a Friday. And the person that I just got off with a client, they did start saying, I think I'm going to start working on this thing on Thursday. So I think we're going about it all wrong. I know I've done podcasts. I talk to clients where you say, just get started, champ, just write your name on the paper, the rest will flow. But here's the problem from a therapist angle is then if that doesn't happen, because it's most likely not going to happen because you've already developed these deeply rutted neural pathways of behavior, then you actually get to beat yourself up, because I can't even do what the books say. I can't even do what the podcasts say, that sort of thing. So embrace your procrastination, because acceptance of procrastination doesn't mean that then therefore I will always do this for the rest of my life. Acceptance doesn't mean apathy. Once I accept that I am going to be doing this at the end, then I free myself to do things that will raise my emotional baseline, put me in a far better state. And then the thing that nobody's talking about yet is that then I actually may start working on things earlier, but don't tell anybody, because then they're going to say, oh, so now you can start working on things on Wednesday. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I think that is part of figuring out one of the secrets of the universe. So go try it and let me know how that goes.